Good morning, friends, and welcome to the Wednesday LiveStream from Dulcimer Crossing. This is the beginning of March, the first live stream for 2022. March, for a lot of people, is the Celtic Month, and what we want to do today is kick off our Celtic Month for our Wednesday live streams. We have a lesson series in Dulcimer Crossing to teach Celtic music. Let's get there. And I had it up here, but then somehow it went away. So let me share my screen. So when I go to Dulcimer Crossing and I log in, I can search by instrument. I'm going to search by hammered dulcimer right now. And that's going to bring me all the hammered dulcimer classes. And I could say, okay, I could go this way and look through and see what am I looking for. This isn't the most efficient way to find Celtic music, although there it is, it does show up. So if I click on that, it brings me to the Celtic Music for Hammer Dulcimer series that I have put together, which looks at several different common tune types: reels, jigs, slip jigs, hornpipes, and strathspeys. This is not an exhaustive list of the tune types in the Celtic world, but this is a whole lot of the tune types in the Celtic world. And so this will give you a good foundational introduction to the rhythms and the things that are needed there in order to play those tunes. Now, the other thing I can do is say I want to look here in the microphone or the magnifying glass and say I want to search for Celtic throughout the whole site. And what it's going to do is give me a listing of all the Celtic things that we have. It's thinking. That's what this little thing moving back and forth is. Wow, it's going slow today. I'm going to stop the... Oops. Well, that disappeared. That browser is not one I usually work with, and so there was a surprise, which we sometimes get, don't we? Okay, I want to see. Here we go. I want to view the site. We're going to do, once that gets here, let's try it in this other place, since that's being so goofy. Here we go. So, whoops, that's not it either. Wow, what an interesting morning. Let's do a window. Now we'll do it. It's here. So I'm going to go back in. I'm going to search for Celtic because it's the Celtic month. And we have series that I've taught for both mountain and hammer dulcimers, teaching the same parallel kind of things about rhythm, what are the tune types, what kind of tempo they use, and those kind of things. But if you search further, you can find that Nina Zanetti also plays a lot of Celtic things. Matthew Dickerson has a lesson on Fisher's hornpipe. We have 54 different lessons and blog posts that relate to Aaron May has Celtic lessons. I have several of them because that's one of my favorite things. I just finished a class, a 6-week class on Celtic music, and I was writing up excuse me, I was writing up the report or the conclusion for as the last handout for the members of those classes, one for hammered, one for mountain dulcimers. And one of the things I did was go and grab somebody had asked for more resources, so I grabbed all of my resources off my shelves and categorized them, put together a bibliography that is now available for them on their resources page. But what I'm going to do in this session during this time, let's stop the sharing, is I'm going to at each week focus on a tune type and and talk about what's going on in there and what's needed so that you can have a quick entry. And then when you get to Dulcimer Crossing and you go through those lessons, you can also search and find the other people who are teaching, because I'm not obviously the only one. And we have Karen Ashbrook and Maggie Sansoni and Linda Brockington and Nina, I mentioned, and Aaron May likes to play a lot of Celtic. A lot of people in the dulcimer world love Celtic music. So one of the classes, I'm going to focus today on reels, and I'll use a baritone mountain dulcimer today. The way I did a whole class on this in the last Quarantune festival, which was a boot camp on reel strum. A lot of people struggle with getting their right hand steady. And if you're going to be playing reels, the first thing that it's important to do is make certain, let's see if water helps better than tea. Is make certain that your strumming is steady. One of the things I do is describe my hands as in the mountain dulcimer, the left hand, which is playing the fretboard, or whatever the fretboard hand is. Some of you might not be left-handed or right-handed for playing things. If you're a left-handed fretboard player, that's the what hand. It's going to tell us what we're going to hear. This is the when hand. It's going to tell us when we're going to hear it. And in a lot of our lives, or our order of things, our what hand wants the when hand to wait until the what hand is ready. And this is where I think we have to be, the when hand has to be just a little merciless. So if you just cover all the strings on your mountain dulcimer, and you can get your metronome, I'm going to turn it, let's go to a different, I'm going to increase my beat because that's in 3. I want it to be in 4. Okay, now we go. So you can see that it's there. I'm just deadening the strings with my hand because my focus right now is making sure that the right hand, which in this camera is a little laggy, I notice, is always moving. So I have a visual representation of what should happen. I also have so I want the right hand to be steady more than anything. I've got my metronome set at 120 right now. It has an earphone pin. I could put an earbud in if I have trouble hearing the microphone while I'm playing. So that's a way to deal with that. But it gives me an outside reference, and my focus is going to be on how do I keep this steady timing. That's my primary thing. Now, I do use vocables: watermelon, 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 watermelon. And I use that because wah is the loudest symbol in watermelon. It's the accented syllable. I say symbol? Accented syllable. Watermelon, watermelon, watermelon. Because if I just hear all the same dynamic, it's going to sound very mechanical, perhaps even machine gunny. But if I accent my wah and I really make my melon strums softer, watermelon, 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 watermelon. It's going to help me when I come to figuring out fingerings later. Now, this is only dealing with the timing. It's not talking about using hammer-ons and pull-offs and other articulations, which are always available to us, and which players of Celtic music on the dulcimer like to use. Those are available to us. But right now, I'm talking about keeping your timing steady, because Celtic music is behind everything dance music. And in dance music, the cardinal sin is messing up the tempo. If you can't keep it steady and going steady, then then the dancers can't dance and all will be lost. And I like this, Jim. Thank you for your suggestions. Friday is 3/4, so it could be waltz day. And then we have reel day, jig day, and slip jig day, and slide day. Yes, we have many other things we're going to look at. But I want to also look at how do we do this kind of thing on the hammer dulcimer. So let me move to that. We're going to have to do a quick, got to hold on to your seatbelt because my cameras got flipped when they were turned off, which is what happens sometimes. Move me up there, and we're going to back out on that one a little bit so we can see a little more of the camera, the dulcimer. There we go. So, in the same way that what we were talking about with mountain dulcimer, we have reels are in 4/4 time and has a very even. In that case, what I was doing was playing chords on the eighth notes. I was using the pattern I call Utah, where we're not playing we're starting on a marked course, coming one below a marked course, which is where Wyoming sticks in there. Starting on the D gives me a major chord. Down to the A box. G box, A box, D. Now, I wouldn't have to be that busy because the melody is very busy. So I could just pulse on the either side of the treble bridge on the 1 and the 5. Now you notice I went up for that one. The way the hammer dulcimer is laid out for us, whatever I play on the right side is exactly a fifth above on the left side. And the same thing. So I played the D and the A for the A chord. I played the A and the E for the A chord, D and the A for the D chord, A and the E for the A chord, D and the G for the A chord. But if I play up here, one above G, even though they're unmarked courses, it's still an A and an E. So I'm able to get those fifth relationships. And in the Celtic world, when you're accompanying, whatever accompanying instrument is playing, if they're doing any kind of chording, it's very often power chords like that, the 1 and the 5. It doesn't have the third in it, so we don't know whether it's major or minor, because what's important is it's providing a structure. Almost, I just got the image of a honeycomb. The tune is the honey, and the 1/5 is the comb in which the tune happens. I don't know if that's going to be a good analogy or not, but it's the one that came to me. And what I can practice doing, even if the songs are going very fast, is that kind of a way of making sure I know what's going on in the song. Watermelon, 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 watermelon. I can pulse the water. Watermelon, 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 watermelon. And you'll notice I moved to the bass bridge. The A and the E, they're here on the treble bridge on the marked course, exactly the same pitches as the A and the E between the bass and the treble bridge, one above a mark. Now, that's not the only rhythm I could use. There's a backbeat rhythm I could use too, that I call mashed potatoes. So mashed potatoes, 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 watermelon, watermelon, mashed potatoes, and I could mix up. I don't know that watermelon and mashed potatoes are going to be a good meal together, but they're vocables that give me a structure that I can remember to help me know when to accent things. And when I keep that steady, when I play those steady and I play the name of the chord that's being changed to, and I play that kind of a way to remember when to play it, it helps the timing in my playing. So that's what I do for playing Celtic music. And it's the kind of thing that I find helpful, and I hope you do too. But we're kicking off Celtic Month today with reels. And we have a whole series of these, like I said before, on Dulcimer Crossing. And we have several different instructors who teach both mountain and hammer dulcimer, teach Celtic music in both places, or for both instruments. Now, there are a couple other things I want to call attention to that are coming up. Let's go here. On March 12th, we have Resonator Dulcimer Day, which is the first gathering online of Resonator Dulcimer players, or dulcibro. I play one called a dulcibro, but the people who make these make different kinds of, they have different names for these. And so that we just call it as an overall Resonator Dulcimer Day. From 9 to 7 Central Time, it's a day-long Saturday workshop. Chris Kennison, who is a respected Hawaiian steel player, And Bing Futch and I will be giving workshops. There'll be 5 workshops in the day. There'll be a builders roundtable. We've never done this before. It'll be on Zoom, and Ashley Ernst of the Dulcimer Players News is going to host this conversation with Don Newhauser, who built mine. Homer Ledford, who was the first person to build one of these, is no longer with us. But Don Newhauser was the next person to really take it to its full I'm going to grab mine. It's just almost, I can't, there's no words. To its fullest realization. So let me stop sharing for just a minute. This is my Dulcibro. It's got a full quarterman cone. You can see it's got a much wider body than many mountain dulcimers. Other people who build these use a different kind of a cone. They use the biscuit cone, which is more familiar, or it's what gets used in national guitars versus dobro guitars. And there's a whole history about that you can learn on that day. But we have the Builders Forum. In addition, we also have an open mic for all the players, and then there's a closing concert. And everybody who registers gets a digital copy of my book CD for playing. We also have a series of lessons on Dulcimer crossing for this. If you go to resonatordulcimer.com, I'm typing it into the chat here, that's where you'll find this page. And Erin May Lewis is our electronic assistant. You can watch video of all of us playing. We have very different styles, which is what's exciting. Bigger description of what's the history of resonator resophonic instruments. It's a very quick look, and then the builders will be there and our schedule. And then when you're logged in, when you've signed up, you get access to the workshop page, which has all the details that we need for that. So that's coming up in 2 weeks. Well, a week and a half, actually, because this is the second, 10 days. And the deadline for registration is this Sunday, March 6th. And mine does have actual frets, and we'll talk about that on the day of it. They don't need to have frets, but because of the raised nut, the frets are there also as a visual reference. Now, another thing that's coming up is, let's go to Dulcimer Crossing. On the 10th, we are excited that Carmen Amrein is going to be here. Carmen is someone who studied the Hochbrett in Germany, at the university in München, which is Munich in English. She and several of her colleagues that were students together at the university have put together the Hochbrett Festival, which is going into its 3rd iteration this May. It happens to be a day I can't go, alas, because it's the same day as the Berkeley Dulcimer Gathering, but it's that weekend. I was able to take part in their fall one, which just meant me setting my alarm clock to get up and do the classes in the nighttime because they're on German time, of course. But she is going to be with us. She has 2 young children, so we've scheduled this so that she can do her live workshop with us on the Schnapseinbringer polka and use that as a way of talking about German polkas. And they're going to teach that to us. She plays both the Western hammer dulcimer and the Hochbrett, and I believe she'll be giving us some descriptions about the distinctions between those two. But at 12:30 Mountain Standard Time, which is an unusual time for our live workshops, on the 10th, she'll be here. And Erin May and I will co-host that. We'll also do a co-hosted replay of that at 5 p.m. that day, our regular mountain time, our mountain workshop time. So if you have any interest in the German tradition or any interest in Hochbrett and polkas, this is the stuff I grew up on. So I definitely have an interest in that. We're excited that she's going to be here. She's also going to be, she is our newest Dulcimer Crossing instructor who's going to be filming videos for us that will be part of the classes that are part of Dulcimer Crossing. Next month, Heidi Muller is coming to talk about how to partner with your dulcimer as a song for songwriting. And then we're excited that Colin Beasley from Mississippi is going to be our hammer dulcimer workshop person in May. So a lot coming up in the live workshop world for Dulcimer Crossing. And finally, this is also among liturgical Christians, this is Ash Wednesday. And Ash Wednesday is the beginning of seasonal Lent. And I have been working with students since the beginning of January on my evening, Dulcimer-friendly evening prayer service with Lent arrangements for Lent tunes. And we're going to begin that tonight. And if you'd like to join us as a play-along, just make sure you click on this link. There's two ways. Click on this link, and that'll register you. It's a Zoom link to register you. When you've registered by noon, I will make sure you get the worship bulletin for tonight. Once you register, you don't have to re-register each week, but each night at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we'll be doing this live evening prayer service with dulcimers as accompaniment, mountain and hammer dulcimers. And Ash Wednesdays tonight. When you register, then I get you into a list where you get the resources page where you can download the worship bulletin. The worship bulletin is made up of lyrics and chord symbols. So knowing your D, G, A, B minor, F sharp minor, E minor, the chords that normally go around in the key of D are really helpful. I think there are a couple, like tonight there is one tune that's in E minor, so it'll be E minor, D, and G. But that's 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And this is a play along, so you're welcome to play along. You can also join me on my Owl Mountain Music Facebook page. As we'll be broadcasting to there as well. And tonight, I'm excited. Erin May Lewis is usually our techno-liturgist, who helps the service can go and doing the technical things back of the house, but she has a conflict and can't be with us. So I'm excited that Ashley Ernst from Dulcimer Players News has agreed to be our techno-liturgist tonight. And I am pleased to be able to be with you and help you launch into all the things that are going on in Celtic Month for Dulcimer Crossing. And if you have any questions or suggestions or things you would like to see, of course, write them into the chat or into the comment section, and they will be there for me to find. This program will be archived here on Facebook in this place. It'll be curated in the archive of the live events section on Dulcimer Players on dulcimercrossing.com. It's also on the dulcimercrossing.com. I want to finish with our title. Also, the Dulcimer Crossing YouTube page. Thank you for joining me, and have a fun, real month.